YouTube, what is going on, guys? Patrick here. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be looking at a $550,000 Bitcoin price prediction. We're also going to be looking at XRP's recent explosion, as well as tons of other news that went on in the cryptocurrency space. But guys, before we get started with that, I wanted to highlight with you something crazy. So this was an Ethereum trade that myself and our group was in. We entered in this candle, or we entered the beginning of this big candle, right? It was around 8:06 p.m. So right in the beginning, we entered. In the next few hours, you guys can see what happened. We exploded into hitting 3 out of 4 targets, 5% move without leverage, with 5x leverage. That's a 25% move with a 10x leverage. That's a 50% move. Absolutely insane and perfectly timed. I want to highlight that. Make sure if you're going to be trading, timing is going to be everything. Identifying when to get in, when to get out is going to be key. So with that said, if you guys feel like you're missing out on these type of trades, on the opportunities that this market provides, make sure you check out the first link in the description or the first link in the comments for the cryptocurrency trade alert group. I post every single one of the trades that myself and my expert team enters in this group, so that if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have time to do technical analysis, if you don't know how to do technical analysis, you can copy our exact trades. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and after that, profits are taken automatically for you. So it becomes very, very passive. We have altcoin trades, we have leverage trades, and we have the #1 community in the cryptocurrency space. And most importantly, for 2 weeks, you can try everything that we have to offer. You can see every single one of our trades for the next 2 weeks completely free for 14 days, risk-free trial where you can test, you can see everything on the back end. You can see every single one of our trades, how we operate. And if for some reason you don't like it, no questions asked, you can cancel and you will avoid getting charged. It's as simple as that. A ton of you guys have joined. You're in the group. You were able to even profit on that Ethereum trade. So I'm loving that. And for those of you who aren't in there, I look forward to seeing you in there very soon. But let's get into the Bitcoin price, because the last few days since the last time I made a video, now Friday I was going to make a video, wasn't too much going on that I wanted to update you guys on, but then, I mean, everything went kind of crazy after that. So Bitcoin was trending up, following the support, just a very easy following the support up here of the EMA ribbon. I was very cautious during this time, and I'll be the first to say this last week has been very difficult to trade. So if you've been trading, if you've been a part of our group, you know this week has been a very difficult week to trade because of the uncertainty on if this is really that bullish start. The volume was a little iffy. The movement was a little iffy from somebody who's been in the market for a while. The movement was a little bit iffy, and I was not 100% convinced. Also note, you guys like the light in the background? It's orange for Bitcoin because Bitcoin's going crazy. So it's been a very, very difficult week to trade. So if you've been trading, if you've been experiencing that for yourself, you've been part of that, you've noticed that it's difficult, stay with it. That's the #1 thing I'm going to say. These difficult times they happen. They're not often, they happen. But a lot of people a lot of people give up during this time, and I want to see you guys succeed. So I want to say, before we dive into anything related to Bitcoin's price, stay with it. If you're serious about it, it's going to pay off in the long run. But Bitcoin was following up the EMA ribbon on the 1-hour time frame. Then this huge candle happened. And on the 1-hour time frame, it looks a little bit, it doesn't look as easy to identify why this candle happened, but when I zoom out to the 4-hour and the daily, it's going to get a little more clear. But then we traded below the EMA ribbon. We even had a bearish flip, and now we're looking to break above it again. I drew this line would be the first target I believe Bitcoin would hit if it was to continue to the upside, around $11,550. And then from there, we could see, obviously, again, that 11,700 moving on and on, trying to see if it's going to continue on that bullish trend. Now that's if it continues. We also have this very important support that I drew here for you guys to get an idea. We've touched it multiple times before. This was just an extension of the pattern we had actually seen previously, the support we had seen over here. If you extend it after this crazy move and this drop, obviously then we started consolidating and we found support with the exception of a few wicks here again. So a very key support we want to watch, a break below this. Again, since the move was so fast to the upside, I would expect a break below this would be a very fast move to the downside as well. Now the 4-hour time frame, this is where it gets a little more obvious in my opinion as to why we had this crazy move. You guys hear me talk about the EMA ribbon all the time. It's one of my favorite indicators, one of my favorite things to have on the chart because it identifies so much for us. It gives us so much idea on the trends, resistances, supports, and just using this by itself, if you were to tie this up with a Bybit or a BitMEX account, even if you were to just use the EMA ribbon, you could still make some pretty decent gains. So for those of you who haven't signed up, there's a link down below to Bybit where you can get some free money with your first deposit. Obviously, it never hurts to get some free money, but even just using that, these things that I talk about all the time for you guys to know, these huge price gaps that came in, right, between the price and the EMA ribbon, usually don't stay there for very long. And that's why I was already uneasy about this move that we had, the move to that was moving, this move over here, because we waited for Bitcoin's price to come in. During this time, it was just a little choppy. I felt like we needed to test that support a little more, and that's exactly what happened during this drop. So this drop, the wick came a little bit below, but you see that we came in to test the bottom of the support of the EMA ribbon. Obviously, we have the support that we drew here, holding the candles, and then we had the wicks coming in to test the lower end of the EMA ribbon and bouncing from that. So on the 4-hour time frame, it starts to look a lot more clear, just technicals wise, taking away all the fundamentals that could have been involved for this move, as in a big whale selling and stuff like that. Just looking at the fundamentals, it already starts to make a little more sense. And then the daily time frame, very similar. Look at the huge price gap we had between the price of Bitcoin right before this came in. It was all the way up here, without having, waited for the EMA ribbon to come up traded sideways for the EMA ribbon to come up for the support, or even for it to come back down, have that bounce and move up. So that was one thing I was expecting to happen. We don't see these huge gaps come in for very long, and when we do, it's usually followed by a correction to come in and test that EMA ribbon. Again, same thing here. Look at this huge candle that came in. The price was separated, a huge separation, huge gap between that, and then we had one huge wick down, came in to test it. All these things, again, you can see the EMA ribbon, huge gap over here, and then it came back to, make sure you guys can see it, huge gap over here, and then it came back down to test it. So all of these things are stuff that if you've been in the market long, you'll be able to actually identify. So to me, the big thing right now, looking at the 1-hour time frame, the most important thing right now is seeing if Bitcoin is going to maintain above this trend line, if it's going to be a confirmed break above the EMA ribbon with a flip, a bullish flip of the EMA ribbon. That would indicate a very bullish sign. We would want to start seeing that bullish movement come in, the volume come in, to convince us, to give us that green light that yes, Bitcoin is officially going to keep moving to the upside from here. That's one thing we want to know. Now, that $550,000 Bitcoin price prediction, I want to jump into that before we look at anything else. This came in from Crypto and The Moon. These are two very big crypto YouTubers. They upload, I'm pretty sure, almost daily. I follow these guys. I watch it. They're entertaining. They did a collab just recently where we talked about the $550,000 Bitcoin price prediction. Now, it sounds crazy, but remember, $20,000 sounded crazy when Bitcoin was $100. So yes, $550,000 sounds crazy when Bitcoin's $10,000, but it's happened before. Crazier things have happened. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but they do make a lot of very interesting points, a lot of points that a lot of people don't really look at before. They talk about how if you keep money in the bank right now, and I'm going to be the first person to ever say this, money in the bank is just burning away your buying power. It loses value every single year. It's going to continue to do that because of inflation. Keeping money in the bank sucks. But a lot of people diversify that into, gold, into stocks, into real estate. And there are a lot of different asset classes that they identify, that they invest into so that they can not lose that buying power. They can make money on, they can make a little bit of money, but mainly maintain that growth with inflation so they don't lose their buying power. And then again, make some money on top of it. If you're doing, depending on what type of investing you're doing, what you're investing into, it's going to be more and less. But they were talking about how Bitcoin is going to allow you to hold that money, have money as if you were to put it in a savings account, keep your own money with, an easier way to sell it and get that cash. However, it's also going to have that movement that a lot of people are interested in, right? The overall price growth in that as well. Very interesting point. That, again, taking over some of those markets is the reason why they believe it could hit that $550,000 mark. I mean, I'm always the first one to tell you guys, $550,000 sounds crazy. Crazier things have happened. I think it's possible for it to happen as well. I think it's possible for Bitcoin to hit that price. Is it going to happen today? It's not going to happen today. Is it going to happen this week? This month? Also no. This year? I'm going to go ahead and say no. But in the next decade, in the next 15, 20 years, and that's what they were talking about as well, it is something that could happen. So I'm going to leave a link, if I remember, to leave a link down below in the description for this video as well, so you guys can check it out, see more into detail of what they were talking about. I gave you guys the general gist, but there is a lot more that they cover. And it's possible. Again, these things, I always like to highlight these big price predictions because a lot of the times people think they're crazy. And I want you guys to understand that a majority of prices today were crazy for any asset. We're crazy if you take 50 years ago, right? It's just the natural, it's just how things work. When Bitcoin was $100, $20,000 was crazy. It hit $20,000. Now at $10,000, $550,000 is crazy. You could do the same thing with most assets if you look at a big enough time frame. Now the gap here that we had in the CME futures, I did want to highlight, not filled yet. That big crazy move that happened, all the fluctuation over the weekend, did not fill the gap. Usually these gaps fill. That is one thing we still really got to keep an eye out on, because if we expect this to fill, then we have to expect Bitcoin to come down to $9,600 at some point in the future. Next thing, also Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance had altcoins suffered a lot for a few days. If we zoom in here, you guys will be able to see altcoins suffered a lot when Bitcoin had its big candles up. This was on the 26th to 27th of July. Bitcoin dominance shot up. Altcoins took a huge bleed, but it bounced off of the resistance on the EMA ribbon here as well. So EMA ribbon working on another chart, and now it's continued to go down. That means that if you were to look at the altcoin charts, you will see that a lot of these altcoins are in the green, right? And they have been slowly in the green. The last week overall has been an upward trajectory for a majority of altcoins because of that Bitcoin dominance falling as well. Now, before we move into the Ethereum news and everything there, I do want to highlight as well, I did start another YouTube channel a while back. I just hired a new video editor and a team that's going to be helping me behind this channel, where we're going to be posting pretty much during quarantine, especially helping you guys how I've been able to build 4 different businesses that each have generated 6 figures online in completely different niches, all while building a team online. The companies are online, and it's giving me the freedom. So if you guys are interested in that, you want to learn more about that, there's going to be a link to this channel down below. A quick plug, we're going to be posting a lot more videos on there now that I've built a team with a video editor, with a thumbnails guy. It's going to be absolutely insane. Now, Ethereum fell, right? We had a huge Ethereum run. Ethereum's been falling a little bit. However, XRP has been exploding. If we look at the graph for XRP, take a look at what's going on. A few things I want to highlight. XRP went from being worth, down here it was at 17.5 cents, just under 18 cents, up to what's now 31 cents on the daily time frame. This is the big note I want to put out though, that I've seen a lot of people talk about. It's bullish, it's awesome, XRP is moving. I agree, I love it when XRP moves. You guys know I'm a big fan of the project. Haven't talked about it as much recently, not as much to talk about, but it's a great project. Now, this is one thing I want to highlight. These are all the highs I'm going to be marking over here, right? A lot of the highs I'm going to be marking. What's one trend that we can see here that is not so bullish as of right now? It's the lower highs that continue to be forming. Now, we see these huge bullish moves every once in a while come in for XRP, right? Over here, it went from being worth just under $19 to being worth just under 35 cents, under 35, I wish it was $19, 19 cents, but 35 cents up here. And then same thing here, I just said it was worth in the just under 18 cents. Now it's up to 31 cents. If it is going to be bullish, if this is going to be the bullish move, then we need to see it make a new high, and then we need to see a new high from there. We want to see higher highs start building up. That's going to be the identifier of the trend that XRP has broken out of that bearish slump, making lower highs, because lower highs is bearish. Even though you can capitalize on these moves and make a ton of money on them, lower highs are bearish, especially if you look at the bigger picture, right? Trades, there will always be trades that you can make money on in the short term, even in a bear market. But lower highs are a bearish trend. We need higher highs is going to be the big indicator for XRP to make that big move, that bullish run that everyone thinks about when they think of that XRP at $3, right, or $3.50. It's going to need to start making higher highs. That's one thing to note. And last but not least, I want to end this off. Crazy stuff. YouTube banned the popular crypto channel Altcoin Daily. They have over 200,000 subscribers. I believe they are one of, if not the biggest crypto channels out there. They talk about news and give their opinions, and they got banned for encouraging illegal activities. Now, since the time of recording, they have been reinstated, But it's scary the fact that just YouTube can censor, just block, yeah, you did this, block it, and they have to go to appeal. No questions asked, no comment to them, just wake up one day, boom, it's gone. That's one of the reasons I like to diversify. It's why I have multiple businesses. I do this YouTube thing for fun. It's crazy that YouTube has so much control. I would recommend to them, make sure you're building an email list, make sure you're going on different platforms. I'm glad they got their stuff back, but keep in mind, guys, anyone can censor the information you get. It's already being censored depending on what your likes are and what your engagement is on these social media platforms. It's already being censored, and they can continue to do so whenever they want, basically. So just an update for you guys. Make sure you do hit the subscribe bell. Make sure you hit the bell notification as well so you can stay updated with everything to do with Bitcoin's price, altcoin price, and how you can make money in this market. Make sure you also leave a thumbs up and a comment down below letting me know what you guys think of the video and what you want to see more of in the future as well. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another video.